If you've purchased a digital product from Etsy, to download that product, you'll need to use a web browser rather than the Etsy app. At this stage, we're not able to download via the Etsy app. So now if you're using an iPad in particular, I would suggest that you use Safari rather than Chrome or Firefox. This is purely because I've found the process to be more seamless through Safari. Okay, so in your web browser, log into your account. If you don't see your recent purchase here in your purchases list, just make sure that you've logged into the correct account. It's always possible that you might have accidentally created a second account. So that's your first thing to check if you don't see your purchase. Go to your profile icon and down to purchases and reviews to come to this page. Okay. Within usually 2 to 3 minutes of making your purchase, you will see in the right hand side here, ready to download. And you'll have the download files button, which takes you to your download page. You'll usually have a message from your seller, so mine directs you to my blog for more information, and we have a download link in the bottom right corner. So if I click download, because this document in particular is a PDF document, you can it will open as a preview in a web browser. If you have a zip document, you'll need to go directly to saved files to be able to uncompress that. And if you're downloading a zip, I would recommend that that's a lot easier to do on a computer than most tablets. Okay, so I want to share this somewhere. So clicking on my up arrow, which is my share icon. So my first row here is my favorite apps. Okay, so if I wanted to open into GoodNotes or Notability, I could just click and import directly from there. If I wanted to open into another app that's not shown, I can scroll across, go to more, I have my favorites, and then I have other suggestions, okay? So you'll have options such as, so I've got NoteShelf installed down here as well, so I could click on NoteShelf. Now, just a quick note is that in some recent updates, there's been a glitch where if you were to go through this method and try to open in NoteShelf, it shows up as being a corrupt file or some error message to that effect, even though you've been able to scroll down and open in NoteShelf here successfully. So, oh, there we go. So even though it's the same file and the same app, one method was giving you an error while the other was fine. So just be aware that if one way doesn't work, try the other way. Okay, so back up here. So if I want to open to GoodNotes, I can just click that and import my document. And there it is, ready to go. Okay, so the other option is for me to go back to my browser, and instead I want to save to files this time. So I'm going to share, come down to save to files. When you're in save to files, you will see all of the different storage locations that you're connected to. Now, I have Dropbox installed, but I've logged out of my Dropbox account the other day, and that's the only reason that it's showing up as grey. Okay, so I'm going to save to my demo folder here. Okay, and now I will come across to GoodNotes, and this is where I'm simply importing manually. So plus import, browse to the location that I've just saved it to, and import that document. Okay, so that's there ready to go. So that is how you would work with an iPad. If you're on a desktop computer, which in some cases can often be a lot simpler, log into your Etsy account, go through that same process. So go to your purchases and go to your downloads. When you download, save it locally to your hard drive. If it's a zip file, unzip the file. Now, if you're on a Mac computer and you have the option to airdrop, you can simply airdrop to your iPad, and then it will prompt you with a list of the different apps you can open in. That's a super simple way to do it. Alternatively, you can, whether you're on Mac or Windows, you can save that file to any shared location such as Dropbox, iCloud, whatever location you have that you can access on both devices, and just import from there. The same way that I imported from my files in my second example here. Or you can email the file to yourself and open it from your email on your device. So a few different ways that you can access your files there. And again, just remember that if you've got a zip, make sure that you've unzipped it. Ideally do that on your computer. And again, if your purchase isn't showing in your purchases list, just make sure that you've logged into the correct account.